What's going on, Geeks and Geekettes? It's another episode of the Countdown City Geekcast. Yes, we are back. Yes, we took a week off, but that's only because last week was madness. If you've been following us over the last 2 weeks or so, you see how busy we are, and we love to do it. We appreciate it, and we appreciate all of you watching and liking and engaging with us and following along. Joining me on this very special episode is one, the only, David Lozano.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Glad to be here.
You look very excited.
I'm always excited, man. June is a huge month. July is going to be even bigger. I'm excited. Let's talk.
No, it's absolutely ridiculous because this week we have how many massive blockbusters are dropping?
Well, today, Across the Spider Verse just dropped. That snuck up on both of us, I think. I was thinking it was going to drop mid-month, and it's already here, guys. I mean, so get your tickets if you haven't. I've looked at all the showings in the San Antonio area, and pretty much everything's almost sold out. You can't really get a couple of seats together. So I don't know what I'm going to do. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Spider-Verse, that film is one of the best comic book movies of all time when you kind of look back at it. And a lot of people in the industry also say that it's one of the greatest comic book films, and I fell in love with it immediately. And yeah, the sequel is finally out. It feels like it took years to drop, but it is here, guys. Go get those tickets. Go watch it this weekend.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna if you're in the chat right now, say what's up. We have passes to give away. That might be the reason why you're here. If you're in the San Antonio area or surrounding areas, we're giving away passes to Transformers Rise of the Beast in a bit. Stick around. Rick Kane's in the chat saying, "Hey man, by the way, sorry for not being present for a long, 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 long time. It's all good, Rick. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here." What you said, I I cannot fathom that this movie is gonna live up to the hype because the people who've seen it, they're not calling it like one of the best or possibly the best. They're saying it's like the best comic book movie, and I've seen more of the best Spider-Man movie ever, and I'm like, I thought we just had the best Spider-Man movie ever. What do you mean?
It keeps on getting better, Ted. It keeps on getting
Oh
better.
my god! Oh my god!
And right now, the climate is really heavy. I think a couple weeks ago, more so, with the Flash movie being held as one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. So now we get Spider Verse, Across the Spider Verse this month, and then next month we get the Flash. It's like it's going to be one of the greatest comic book movie summers of all time. It feels like.
I keep telling people we're living in the golden age of comic book content, comic
Right,
book
right,
media, and sometimes people are like, "Oh no, we're not." This is blah blah blah. I was like, "No, no, no, we really are." Like
right.
it, it is not just about the quantity of projects that we're getting out, but
There's a
we
whole lot of quantity.
let's be honest.
Yeah.
The quality is up there. We can try and argue about how bad this is or how bad this actor was for that role or whatever, but seriously, go back and look at what we were watching in the 90s and whatever else. Like, no, no,
The
no.
Dark
Every
Ages.
Right? Like, no, this is high quality stuff. Legacy nerds in the chat. What's up, fam? What's going on, Legacy? Legacy knows how busy we've been. Oh man, it's been bonkers. I actually want you to talk about what you've been doing, because you and Ray, again, if you're in the chat, I'm gonna tease you guys in a minute about the passes. But you and Ray, me, Kenobi, Daniel, who else? It feels like we've all been doing Brian, we've all been doing interviews. Like I was looking down the list and it's like we've done over a dozen interviews in the last week and a half. Tell people what you were doing right now because you're doing multiple things. You got the Spurs stuff going on. Tell the folks at home what you've been getting into and where they can find the interviews you're doing.
So yeah, we Ray and I have been working on a side project which is called Spurs Stuff. Same naming convention as all my other podcasts I've done on my own. But yeah, we've gotten to interview some really interesting people. kind of cross-branded some of the interviews. The last interview Ray and I did together was with an actor comedian named Carlos Santos. He is on the show Primo, which has a lot of San Antonio ties to it because the showrunner is someone from the San Antonio area, and you can see the background decorated in San Antonio Spurs stuff. The showrunner's name is Shea Serrano, and he's fairly famous. He's been on the Ringer podcast. I don't think he's no longer with the Bill Simmons podcast, but he has best-selling books where he has droppings of Spurs stuff in there. And Ray actually did an interview last night without me for Countdown, I believe, for another actor from that show, Primo, which is on Amazon and Freevee, which is a subsidiary app that you can download and watch Primo. So Primo's a show that's filmed in New Mexico, I believe, but it's supposed to be based in San Antonio. So
Why do they always do
it's
that?
tax breaks. It has to be the tax
It
breaks.
has to be the tax breaks. Every
I
time
mean, the
there's a
city.
show based in San Antonio, it's always in like Arizona, New
Right,
Mexico.
right.
Like we don't have that much dirt or desert out here, man. Like seriously, there's more trees than dirt. But go on.
Right, right, and Elizabeth Olsen just filmed in this area for Life and Death, the HBO miniseries, so it's like, well, why couldn't they strike that deal? And it's Amazon, it's the richest company in the world. But, anyways, we're so glad that that show was on. They represent San Antonio, lots of Latino actors. Carlos is Puerto Rican, but, he lives in California, and he's a stand-up comedian as well, and, big fan, big fan. Also, we have an interview with uh, a, a director, an animator uh, named Sam Liu, and he has a very interesting story. He lives in California as well, but he's a massive Spurs fan, and we're about to publish that episode of the podcast. And he had some really interesting takes and an interesting kind of origin story for coming to like the Spurs because he's not from Texas. He's never been to Texas, never been to San Antonio. But he's directed some of your favorite DC animated films. I mean,
Yes, he has.
it's kind of a who's who of, of animated films. One of my favorites in particular is Red Sun, the Superman story. It's a what if story of Superman crashed in the USSR instead of um, Paul, Kansas,
Great
and
story.
that's an
Instead of
interesting
Smallville,
story.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we got those two interviews, and we have some really, really exciting ones and potentially huge ones coming up that I don't think we can talk about quite yet because we haven't got a confirmation. So yeah, we've been doing a lot of stuff, but as you know, Ted, I've been trying to do everything as far as movies and TV and podcasts, and I still have Star Wars stuff going. And um, June is a huge month for all these movies. Transformers is coming out, which is a standalone, but also a sequel to Bumblebee, which was a
Yeah.
hit, very
Hit.
underrated. And Haley Steinfeld from Bumblebee will be at the Car Show and Comic Con coming up in July, where the
Boom.
Countdown City Geeks will have a booth, and we might get some interviews, kind of like what you did in Comic Palooza in Houston. And
Oh
you
dear
got
God.
a lot of big names, man, and all those interviews are up on YouTube right now, and they're awesome, man. It's unbelievable.
I I don't know what's going on with this month or this year, but it's been hit after hit after hit of like I don't know what to call it. I feel like I don't even want to acknowledge it's just that we went me and Matty B, everybody knows Matty B from the show. We went to Houston and him and I have the same sort of strategy. Get everything you can, don't go in with any expectations, and everything you leave with is sort of like a plus or bonus, whatever.
Mhm.
We got like one right off the bat. Dominique Thorne. You know
That's
her as
awesome. Ironheart.
Ironheart. She was in Wakanda Forever. Riri Williams. And man, they were so cool. Her entire team were so awesome. And we had only a couple of minutes. Like these people have very tight schedules. Some of them, they're in and out. So we had a couple of minutes, and what's it called? It was she was fantastic. She was great.
Yeah.
After that interview, we were like, okay, cool. Let's see what else we can get. We also had some friends that were there, so we went to go see some people that we knew. And then we were sort of hitting a roadblock. A lot of folks had photo ops at the exact same time. Like the entire Arrow cast had photo ops at the same time as the boys cast, and there was panels going on, and you had to choose. You know how it is. So we were like, maybe we don't actually get anything else.
I've been
And
there.
I was just like, you know what? No, let's stick it out. Let's see, give it another hour or two. And then sure enough, the Aerocast, they were sort of free at the exact same time. Rick Gonzalez, everybody knows as Wild Dog from Arrow. He was great in Coach Carter. Rick Gonzalez has been like 1,000 movies. And so you've seen his face. All these interviews are on YouTube right now on our channel. So if you haven't seen them, go check them out. Juliana Harkavy, who played Black Canary on Arrow. She's a doll. She's fantastic. Um, my goodness.
Josh Segura.
Josh Segara, who is the chillest, illest dude you will ever meet. I mean, watch the interview. I'm not saying he was on something, but if he was, I want some of that.
Yeah, his star is definitely rising.
Oh my god. I mean, and he was in Scream 6.
Mhm.
So like we just talked to Ghostface, me and Ray,
Mhm.
from Scream 6. So talking to Josh, it all kind of ties together, and I get to tell him like, "Hey man, I talked to Max, and he had a blast and yada yada." So it's cool swapping stories now from
Yeah.
like people from multiple projects. It's really fucking cool. And then Mick Foley,
Mm.
WWE legend, WWE
Mankind.
Hall of Famer, Mankind, Dude Love, Cactus Jack, bang bang. Oh my god, he's so cool. And the most random thing ever, right before our interview starts, I'm looking at his table. I don't know why it caught my eye, but there's these business cards with his face on it. I'm like, "You have business cards?" And I turn it over and it's a business card for beard oil. And I'm like,
Ooh.
"Hold the phone." I was like, "Wait a minute, before we start talking, you have a beard oil like product line?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he was making it sound so like normal. And I'm like, how did you get into a beard oil product line? That's so random, but yet it's so cool as well.
And it
And
kinda
then
makes sense.
so if you yeah, absolutely. So if you watch the interview, he talks about kind of how that came about, but it was just so neat. And I honestly I have the card in my bag. I haven't unpacked anything yet. My camera
Mm.
was still in my bag. And I was like rustling to get it all out. Um I'm gonna buy some because, like, he kinda sold me on it. He was like, "You get all the same scents and all the same, these manly scents or whatever,
Yeah.
these, lumberjack scents and all the other beard oils." He goes, "I'm thinking outside the box." So, like, alright, I'm gonna check it out then, see how it turns out."
Yeah.
And then the mother of them all, like, I told myself if I was to get this one person as an interview, I would be fine with it. I would be okay and thrilled, and it wasn't going to happen. We could not get access through all the normal channels. Everybody we talked to was just
Mm.
telling us talk to the next person, talk to that person, talk. We were getting thrown around in circles for like a few hours. Not a big deal. But then we just like I said, screw it. We're gonna go for broke here, which probably not. But I was just like, let's just go for it. So we talked to his people, and they were like, you know what, that would be kind of cool, but we're about to hit jet, so maybe tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, whatever, we'll be back tomorrow. And they were like, I think they were thinking we were gonna do an extensive interview, like 20, 30 minutes or something. And I was like, no, 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 you guys have stuff to do. Like we're talking like 3, 4 minutes
Right.
tops. And like, oh, okay, let's crack this out right now then. Tenoch Huerta, Namor from Wakanda Forever. This is gonna be one of my all-time favorite interviews, like bar none. Just super cool, super enthusiastic. I don't have a beef with the promoters of the event, but his panel was mind blowing. It was a spiritual and educational experience that should have been seen by all. However, no recording of the panels are allowed.
Mm.
Wink. No video recording. They said no video recording, and that's what we made sure we did. No video recording.
Uh,
None
they weren't that
whatsoever.
strict last year. I recorded the whole Mandalorian panel.
I'm with you, man, and we were not like there as average Joes or anything. Like
Yeah.
we were press credentials, we were in our press seats, we were doing everything we were asked to do, and then it was just like ooh, you know what? Can't really do that anymore. And we're just like, are you sure? We had people get clarification. We're like, hey, are you sure? Because we're kind of here to do a job. Anyways, we're going to put out some articles about the Wakanda Forever panel because it was incredible, phenomenal, really, really. And it's hard to kind of put it into context. It was like going to church. We went to comic book nerd church with both Tenoch as well as Dominique Thorne. So listen, if you haven't seen the interviews yet, I want you guys to go ahead and go to YouTube after this stream is over and check it out. But um, I did promise that we were going to give away some passes to a little movie, tiny movie called Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. David Lozano, are you interested in this movie at all?
Yes, I'm very interested. When I was in high school, I would watch the cartoon in the morning, the kind of like CGI animated cartoon. I really got into it. At that point in time, I really wasn't into Transformers anymore, but I really got into it. I bought some of the action figures, and I was fast. I mean, it was a really nice take and a nice kind of evolution or de-evolution, however you want to look at it, of Transformers. And yeah, it was popular. I would talk to people, during that time, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a pretty good show." I was shocked at how many people are watching it, and now they're doing a live action sequel slash standalone to Bumblebee, which Bumblebee I thought was fantastic. That's the way I think all Transformers films to try and model their kind of stories and how they actually went about telling the story of the Transformers in live action. And I'm excited to see it, and, the cast is kind of interesting too. You got Anthony Ramos, who plays Noah Diaz. You have Pete Davidson as the voice of he's essentially the comedic relief, Transformer, Mirage, and Ron Perlman is playing Optimus Primal, the huge, gorilla transformer you see in all the trailers. That's Ron Perlman, which is awesome. I love
Incredible.
that dude. Yeah.
Right, he's still doing stuff. You know, Pete Davidson as the you said comedic relief, but he's from what I've gathered, Mirage is sort of like your main character, your lead transformer in this one. As at least that's
Okay.
what that kind of the hints have been so far. So I don't know how
Cool.
true that is, but you're gonna see a ton of Mirage in this movie. I just more than probably one would expect. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. So Lozano, should we give these passes away? Maybe, kind of,
I think we should.
possibly.
I think we
All
should.
right, all right. For those of you who are watching, or if you're on your way home from work, I know this is a lot earlier than we're used to, but the link is now in the chat. Go, go, go! Fire sale. All must go. All that kind of thing. Head on over to the link. You're going to be asked to click a secondary link for the San Antonio passes. The screening info is it's Monday, June 5th at 7:30 at the San Antonio Theater Palladium IMAX. If you live in San Antonio, you absolutely know where it is. If you have any questions, reach out. But no purchase necessary. First come, first serve. Seats are limited. Arrive early, especially for a blockbuster like this. So good luck to everybody. Hope you guys get your passes. It's awesome to see the folks that get into these movies on our behalf, and you guys say what's up to us at the theater. So please, by all means, say what's up. Keep you know keep the geek fandom alive. And you ready, Lozano?
I'm ready.
Next week we will be giving away advance tickets to the Flash movie in both San Antonio and Houston. Holla at your boy.
That's big time.
Oh my god,
Wow.
I can't wait. If you want to be able to go see The Flash for free, early advanced screening tickets, with the most passionate group of fans you'll find, because you're not going to these things unless you're crazy like me and Lozano, and you're willing to, like, wait, and you're willing to, like, you know just be in this mass of people. These are the best fans to watch movies with.
Yes.
This is like, when you go to a basketball game, middle of the season, it's very boring, nothing exciting. There's like, you're not worried about the playoffs yet. And then imagine you're at a basketball game, game 7, NBA finals. Imagine how that crowd is. That's the kind of crowd that you actually get at these event screenings. And those are the ones you actually want to be with. So, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure you guys follow us. That way, you will be the first to get the opportunity to win passes to the advanced screening of the Flash movie, which is another one of those movies where reviews are like, can it really be as good as they're saying? I have no idea. We'll find out very soon.
Yeah, and today I posted on our Geeks and Geekettes Facebook group that Andy Muschietti, the director of The Flash, put in some special Easter eggs, some special end credits that no one has seen yet, because this film has been screened several different times, incomplete. So on that date, when the film comes out for the public for these screenings, you're going to be able to see stuff that you've never been able to see before. And I think it's something big by the way they're talking. So hopefully we get something huge. We're going to be buzzing afterwards. The vibe and just the mood in that place is going to be awesome no matter what theater you go to. This film, The Flash, feels like a landmark film. This is kind of the bridge over to the new DC that we're going to get here coming up with James Gunn's iteration of the new DC universe, which is super exciting. A new Superman, a new Batman, all new actors. I mean, what more could you want from superhero films? I mean, we got Marvel right now, then DC later. That Flash film, man, it's a crazy time we live in right now, Ted.
It is a madness time that we live in. Everywhere you turn, it's just new movies are dropping and conventions galore. I mean, we had I we had we have a large team over here at Countdown City Geeks, which is a blessing in itself. And we had 4 members at no, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we had 4 members at 3 different conventions in 2 different states. So it's just like wild, and it's just incredible. I mean, it feels like the convention season is back in full swing, where the attendance levels are kind of back to the norm. And um like you mentioned earlier, across the Spider Verse, I was kind of scrolling through those seats as well, and it's like, yeah, they're not only selling out in our area, which is kind of a pretty decent sized city. They're also selling out like multiple days. I was looking at late times for my son tomorrow night so he can go with his friends, and he was sitting like towards the bottom of the floor, and I'm like, wow, this is interesting. We're kind of finally settling in and getting back to what we're all very used to. If you're just joining us, thank you so much. If you're if you're interested in seeing Transformers: Rise of the Beasts on us in San Antonio, Texas, the link is in the chat. We had a question from Feisty Man X1313. Y'all getting Oppenheimer passes? Because that movie looks lit AF. And to that I say, Very possible, very likely. Subscribe, stay tuned, and for those who might have just missed it, giving out passes to the Flash. Oh, and it's like not a little bit of passes. We're giving out stacks of passes next week. I'm so stoked. It
I
really
think
makes
it's
me excited.
I think it's fair to call it the movie event of the summer, really. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the one that we've been anticipating for a very long, like 7 years, and now we're gonna get Michael Keaton. Everyone knows we're gonna get Michael Keaton as Batman.
Oh my god,
He's
yeah.
back, and then we're gonna have multiple Flashes. We have Supergirl, and whoever knows what other surprises that we're gonna get. And apparently, there are tons of just sweaty goodness for comic book fans and comic book heroes, and just lovers of cinema. Really, I mean, this is the time. This is a big summer, and this is the film of the summer. It's right smack dab in the middle, and you got stacks of passes. You don't want to miss that.
Stacks. I was actually shocked when they told me how many we were gonna give away. I'm like, oh my god, okay. I can't wait. It feels great. It
Yeah.
feels great to be in this position to just make sure like I don't know how these get, handed out if it doesn't go to us. It either goes to somebody else or it might not go to another outlet. It might just go through the main distributor, however that works. But it's great. It's awesome that like we're giving to our city. We're giving these to people who want to be there, and it's just incredible. Speaking of our city, we are going to be the center of the geek universe like in weeks because the superhero Comic Con and car show, which I'm now calling Avengers Con, like that's what it is now. If you hear it later on, let them know, like, oh yeah, Ted called it that first. Avengers Con is coming to San Antonio, Texas, July 7th, 8th, and 9th. They've already confirmed. Oh my god, I'm gonna put this poster up and just we're all gonna just stare at it and weep like little kids.
And that's
Elizabeth
not even
Olsen.
everyone.
That's not even everyone. Elizabeth Olsen, Andrew Garfield, Brie Larson, Amelia Clark, who we haven't even started to see in the MCU yet. Her show's not even out yet. Secret Invasion. Kit Harrington, Haley Steinfeld. Oh my gosh, Ming Na Wen is also going to be there.
From
Um,
Agents of Shield.
from Agents of Shield. It's just bonkers how far they've gone with this. And here's breaking news, folks. In case you haven't been keeping up, that's okay because that's our job. Our job is here to keep up. They just announced Chuck Woody Iwuji from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, as well as Peacemaker. You know him as the High Evolutionary. David, I don't think you knew about this one. Your thoughts on Chuck Woody coming out?
It's fantastic. I'm gonna have to meet him. I'm a big Guardians fan, as you know, and James Gunn's already confirmed that he. Well, maybe that's spoil. Well, should I talk about that for spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy? Let's just say he might have a major role in future Marvel films and potentially Avengers films. So going to meet him at the Superhero Comic Con and Car Show in July, Saturday the 8th, Sunday the 9th of July, might it's almost like buying stock in a way because you meet him then and he becomes maybe the next future huge villain in the Marvel MCU cinematic experiences that we're about to get here in the future with the Avengers. I mean, it might serve you well to get it now as opposed to getting it later when maybe he's charging double or maybe even triple for his autograph and photo op, which is pretty pretty decent. I mean, $65 for an autograph for a photo op. You get to talk to him, have a few words with him. $60. It's not a bad price. I'm definitely gonna do it because, like I said, I'm a big Guardians fan, and his acting was phenomenal in the Peacemaker. If you haven't checked that out, that's James Gunn's um, his series that he wrote over the pandemic, and it's kind of an offshoot of the Suicide Squad, which he directed, and it follows John Cena's Peacemaker, which is phenomenal. It's funny, it's hilarious, it's everything. You got to check it out. I believe there might be a season two. But then James Gunn cast him as the main villain of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. He did a phenomenal job. I think everyone hated his character, but in the good way. He did a superb villain acting job. But yeah, he's a phenomenal actor. He's going to be around. I think he's in James Gunn's inner circle of actors now. So he's
Oh,
going to
for sure.
be popping up in a lot of stuff, just like Nathan Fillion, um, his brother Sean Gunn. They all do all the cons. But yeah, I think it's wise to meet this guy.
Legacy Nerd says mutants. And Jessica's also in the chat saying, "I am excited for the Flash." Absolutely, it's the hype is real. And Chuck Woody is he kind of reminds me, his enthusiasm and everything kind of reminds me of Giancarlo Esposito. They
Yes.
kind of feel like they come from the same breed. They're what is it? What's the phrase? They're cut from the same cloth, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, they just both have that presence and that enthusiasm, that energy, and so it's one thing to like get big names, but it's also like it elevates your entire show when you get people that soak in the moment and they're there for the fans and they go all out. And I feel like he's gonna be one of those. The Jason David Franks, the Mark Hamills of the world, like just those real special guests at these conventions that just
Yeah,
go.
guess
Tom
that will
Tom
not
Hiddleston,
disappoint. Yeah, he will not
yeah.
disappoint you. I mean, you talk to him, he's gonna talk back. I mean, he's gonna tell you what's up, how you doing. You bring up
I hope we're right.
anything. I think so. I think that's why he's doing it. He came to San Diego Comic Con in full high evolutionary costume
That's
and was
right.
acting the part, projecting his voice all throughout Hall H. It was it was incredible, man. And no one knew who he kind of was at that point, but now mostly everyone has seen the movie. You're gonna know who this guy is, and his star is he's another rising star in my view. He's got the
Absolutely.
potential to be
Massive.
pretty great. Yeah, massive, pretty great. So I would suggest jumping on this guy's photo and autos. So
If you have any money left, if you have any money left, if your family doesn't need to eat between now and July, and that's not a knock on anything on anybody in particular. It's
right,
just
right.
that there's a dozen Marvel characters here, and you're gonna want to see as many as you can. So like, I'm here to see as many as I can. I'm sure you are as well. Avengers Con is coming, folks.
Yep.
And it's not only Avengers Con, but if you're a wrestler fan as well, there's almost nobody bigger than MJF, who was announced just yesterday. He's gonna be there only on Friday, July 7th, for like a brief time. And also, like, Friday's a good day to go because, like most cons, Fridays are usually slower, less attendees. You're able to kind of do a lot more that aren't really, required, like panels and stuff like that. So when you go check out the vendors and you go see as many like guests as you can, Friday's a great day. There's going to be less people on Friday. Believe me, Saturday will be a full house, like wall to wall
Yeah.
people, just galore. So if you have the opportunity, come see MJF. Main reason because he's better than you and you know it. AEW star MJF.
And
I
also come say hi to us at the Countdown to the Geek booth.
Come say hi to us. We'll be busy. We'll be just ridiculously busy, but we're excited. We're all very excited. And
And the WrestleCast will be there, right?
the WrestleCast is going to be in attendance. We're going to have Daniel from Legacy Nerd. We're going to have Jose from General Kenobi's Bunker. Me and Maddie B and our fellow ghost heads will be in attendance. I know I'm forgetting somebody. Who am I forgetting?
David.
David Lozano with the Star Wars Stuff Podcast. Of course, is going to be there because, I mean, look, how many Star Wars actors are you going to be talking to at this thing?
Hopefully
Who
all of them.
I
Hopefully
mean,
we
you
get
got
Katie
Ming Na,
Sackhoff,
you
Ming
got
Na
Katie
Wen,
Sackhoff. Oh
Amelia
my
Clark.
god. Amelia, jeez. if you just had a con with those three alone, like that's already like putting a smile on my face. It's just hearing those
Yeah,
three names,
yeah. So San
and yet we
Antonio,
have. Oh my
we were
god.
telling you, if you love going to the movies, this is the place to be. Buy the tickets, go. You'll see us. We're gonna be there. We'll be running around doing interviews, hopefully, at panels. We'll have a booth. All these huge mega stars are going to be there in San Antonio, Texas. I mean, this isn't something that happens all the time. Although we're trying to make it an every year occurrence. I mean, you just never know. I mean, I just I'm just telling you that cuz it's when I was younger, this was not happening for San Antonio. We'd have to travel. So if you're in San Antonio, come through. There's going to be cosplayers, there's going to be booths, there's going to be a free arcade. Pro tip is if you're like tired of walking, you can kind of like sit down at some of those spots and kind of chill for a bit, play some arcade games. There's racing games out there. There's a couple of Mario Kart machines. Um, but yeah, I mean, panels, arcade, like food, drink, us. I mean, and then all these huge stars will be there.
Massive.
It's wild.
Massive. It's wild. I can't forget earlier this week they also announced Alaqua Cox, aka Echo. She's got a bright future in the MCU ahead of her. So be sure to check her out over at the Superhero Comic Con and Car Show. It's Avengers Con, people. Avengers Con. It's a real thing, and it's here. It's
So
here.
that has to be more than a dozen MCU participants, right?
I've lost count. I've lost count. I mean, I I don't want to count. There's just so many.
So, well, I'll count it right quick. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 9 that I see so far. So 9 MCU actors will be at this convention in San Antonio, Texas.
That sounds right. That sounds
Yeah.
right.
That's incredible,
Yeah.
man.
And Legacy Nerd says photo ops with the Countdown City Geeks will be free. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, yeah, well, it'll be free.
I knew there was a joke coming for that. But yeah, come by, say hi. Don't be shy, and come by and say, "Hey, we saw you
Oh
on
man.
YouTube on the Countdown channel." So yeah, come by, say hi. We want to talk to you. We want to see what you have to say. What your experience is like with the podcast, with Countdown City Geeks, and with the show, because we're interested because we're gonna have one view of the show, and we want to see what everyone else says about the show. And we probably will have, I think, on several of our different podcasts, Bob Wills, right, on the show.
Just about to mention that.
Yeah.
So, not a week from today. Um June, I guess that's 7th. Yeah, June 7th at around 8 p.m. that evening. Look for the promo posters on our channel. Superhero Comic Con and car show promoter Bob Wills will actually be on a stream with the Countdown City WrestleCast to talk about the guest announcements for the wrestlers. I believe there's one more at least that he's holding on to. We probably will see that announcement tomorrow, if anything. But look to check out Bob Wills on our show, the WrestleCast,
Yeah. Yeah.
next Wednesday, the 7th at around 7 p.m. And people are probably thinking to themselves right now, like, you know what? I don't live too close to San Antonio. It's a great lineup, but why else would I go? Like, what are the other perks? Well, folks, kids are free, 14 and under, with adult admission. All you have to do is use the code free kids along with your purchase. It looks like there's actually a charge for the tickets, but once you put in the code, it removes that charge. I can tell you because I go to a lot of conventions, this isn't a normal thing. This is not normal. Usually you're paying upwards of $25 or more for a child's ticket at a con, and definitely not a con of this size, of this magnitude. So if you're wondering to yourself, like, should I really go? Is it really worth it? These are the type of names that you're going to see at two places only: San Diego Comic Con and New York Comic Con. The difference is you are actually choosing to see these people because at San Diego and I'm pretty sure New York, usually the conventions are choosing you. It's the other way around. You don't really get to choose who you get to meet. I'm speaking from experience at San Diego. Usually, a lot of those things are like contest driven, raffle driven, and so you don't really get to choose, the type of celebrities that you get to meet and converse with. Here you do. So, it's just gonna be an incredible experience for anybody in attendance. The panels alone are gonna be entertaining. I just can't wait. And last year was a 4-day event. I wanted to take some time to go to the free arcade and do some play some pinball machines. I had 0 free time to do anything because of how busy we were, but
Right,
it's
right.
not a complaint. It's absolutely, just incredible. Like, I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled. I'm not even nervous. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's figure it
Yeah.
out. Let's do this. Cannot wait. It's gonna be one crazy time.
Yeah,
Center of the geek universe.
you didn't have the time last year. I had the time last year, so I went to the arcade. I experienced it. I played the Mandalorian. They had a brand new pinball machine, a Mandalorian pinball machine. Lots of fun. I'm a big fan of pinball, but they also had classic stuff there. That Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, the arcade where you sit down so you can actually take a seat and play. And they had kind of like a myriad of different machines from that time as well. But yeah, old and new classic arcade machines. I mean, if it's just like last year, but I believe they have more machines this year, so it's going to be even better. And I also want to say this. So I have I have thousands of Star Wars Facebook friends, and I just saw that there's a group getting a big, massive group to fly out of Boston to come to the car show and Comic Con, and they're gonna actually have a meetup there. And it really shocked me that these guys are gonna fly in. It's because of the big names. I mean, Andrew Garfield's gonna do this for the first time, show up to a convention and sign and take pictures with people. I mean, this is a big deal, guys.
Massive, massive
Yeah.
deal. Just even if even if, people are like, it's a lot of money though. I totally get it. I've been there. I totally get it. Go, just watch the panels. You get a refillable bucket of popcorn throughout the weekend. Drink prices are pretty cheap. Free arcade just to kind of be in the center of the geek and comic book universe for that weekend. It's gonna be so fulfilling. I absolutely promise you.
Yeah, there's gonna be concerts every day.
Oh,
Um,
comedy shows. I mean, they're really
yeah,
going all out here.
yeah,
Full
yeah.
e
I mean,
full on entertainment.
yeah, yeah. I think that the car show Comic Con is really striving to be in that level of the Comic Cons that you do want to attend. I know you got the San Diego granddaddy of them all, then you have the New York Comic Con, and then you have Ace Comic Con in Seattle, which have had a lot of big stars. And now Ace has actually partnered with the San Antonio Car Show Comic Con. And yeah, that's the reasoning. That's why we're getting these big stars to agree, because there's a partnership there that a lot of people aren't aware of, and it's happening, guys. I mean, this is huge. And of course, we haven't even mentioned Katie Sackhoff from The Mandalorian. I know she basically was the Mandalorian this season,
Pretty
and
much.
she's definitely going to be in the new movie that Dave Filoni directs. And you probably want to get her autograph and photo op as well, because her prices will probably go up because their star is just getting bigger.
I think that helmet right behind you there is gonna get an autograph on it. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. Right on the side of the
That's
cheek there.
it's crazy that that's like, now that's my problem. It's like, "Oh my god, what am I gonna get autographed now?" Like, I need something of some substance or value. Bonkers, wild. Here's a great tip. I interviewed, Lee Waddell, who was the first Ghostface, Scream 1, Scream 2. Like, he's a guy who literally stabbed, not literally, figuratively stabbed Drew Barrymore and hung her on a tree.
Nice.
Um Oh yeah, fantastic guy, really sweet. And he says, "Do it." He says, "Do the actors a favor. If you're gonna get a Funko Pop package signed, leave the Funko at home. Take the package all flattened and everything,
I've seen
and then
people do that.
they're gonna sign it that way. It's easier for them. The autograph comes out nicer, and there's none of this fumbling to get the Funko out or anything like that. They don't want to, press their markers through the packaging and rip the plastic. So, pro tip for
Yeah,
getting autographs at conventions: leave the Funko at home. Don't ruin it or anything. Just take the packaging, flatten it out, and get it signed. The more you know. There you go.
definitely. That's a great tip.
Ah, my gosh. Wild. Wild times. Cool. That is all for the superhero Comic Con and car show. And you're probably saying to yourself, but where do we go to find more information? You go to pmxevents.com. All the pricing info, all the frequently asked questions, all the photo op info. It's all right there. Panel schedules will be out in the next couple of weeks. Those are probably the last thing to get finalized. But, when they do, you guys will be the first to know because, we will be sure to talk all about it. Very exciting, very
And we
exciting.
didn't even mention Haley Steinfeld, who's in Across the Spider-Verse as Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen, and she was in Bumblebee, which ties into our Transformers giveaway. So, yeah, San Antonio did it, guys. I mean, we are on the map for Comic Cons.
Absolutely. And there's not one. San Diego and New York, like, they call themselves conventions, but they're not. They are mega events. Those are, like, planetary-sized, city engulfing events. Like, I've been there, I've seen that. Those are not conventions, those are on a whole 'nother scale. This convention, and it's now getting there towards the top. There's very few, I would say, have a guest list this impressive that still have that small type of convention atmosphere. Like, you're not walking blocks around downtown San Diego to, like, go to the next event or the next whatever. That's what happens over there. Like, this is all going to be in the walls of the Freeman Coliseum and the nearby structures, and it's so massive for the city. I don't know how they keep it in that location next year. I really don't. If it's going to be this big every year, but yeah. For more information, go to pmxevents.com, and that's it. Appreciate it, guys. Um, Once again, we gave away passes to the Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Link is in the chat. It's actually pinned right now at the top. Good luck to everybody. This is also in San Antonio. If you're not in the San Antonio area, please don't try to get the passes. I don't know if you want to commute all this way just to go to see a free movie. Last but not least, it's not going to take a ton of time. It's really just quickly talking about The Little Mermaid because we haven't done sort of a formal review on it, and we're not gonna go scene by scene. Everybody knows this movie already, so we don't have to talk to you guys about the story. You know the story. I'm just gonna say a few things. And Dave, did you get a chance to see it by chance?
Yes, I saw it this weekend.
Fantastic. Well, I don't know what your thoughts are about it because we haven't talked about this
Mhm.
movie yet. So I'm gonna say my thoughts real quick, and then please you do the same. This was, in my opinion, the best live action Disney movie they've done. None of the other ones really resonated with me on an emotional level, and it's not nostalgia driven because I can watch The Little Mermaid, and it's not hitting me the same way that this movie did. Um Halle Bailey, you you from the get-go can tell why they cast her,
Mhm.
because the notes, the tone of her voice, the emotion she puts into her singing, it I'm not crying right now, I promise. It It
That
pierces your
emotional, huh, Ted?
soul. It pierces your heart. I mean, there's certain people that when they start singing or a tune, it just, like, takes over the air around you. You just get engulfed in it, and it's exactly why she was cast, because if that individual can emotionally engage the audience, you have to put her in that role. Nobody else could have done it. They auditioned over like 200. um they had over 200 auditions. She was the first one, and after everything was all said and done, she was the best. Nobody came close. She set the bar, literally, quote unquote, she set the bar too high. And I fully believe it. I really do. Um Ursula surprised me. I forget her name right now.
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy. I feel like, every other thing she's done, she's kind of been slight photocopies of the character before, which is not a knock. I mean, Will Ferrell is kind of the same, maybe in a way. I'm just
Yeah,
trying to say that, like, they're not drastically different. This was a stretch for her, and she pulled it off. She really did. Daveed Diggs as Sebastian. I did not expect to love him as much as I did. I love what other projects David has done, especially Hamilton. So I should have known better. He was fantastic. Aquafina as Scuttle was amazing. I don't know who played Flounder. Flounder was there, I suppose. Flounder's not meant to really do it a whole lot. All in all, even Prince Eric, giving him something to do, and then the music was incredible. The new songs I thought were great additions, and I have a great ear. I've been a musician for decades now, and as soon as I heard like Scuttle rapping, I was like, I know whose flow that is, Lin Manuel Miranda. I'm
mm,
like, I can tell he has that style, and so as soon as I knew he that was his work in this movie, I was already sold before, but now you really got me. It was a fantastic movie, the best live action Disney movie that they've done. Um, yeah, just all in all, the entire family loved it. My daughter, who's about to be 4, um, this is her Ariel, and that's okay.
that's incredible, man.
My wife's Ariel was the original, but this is my daughter's because of just the the major how big it was, how
Mhm.
glorious it was. I can't find really much that I did not like about this movie. Even the changes they did to the story, I'm like, wow, how fascinating. Really interesting stuff. I'm taking up all the time, but yeah, please let me know what you thought.
Yeah, I'm pretty much gonna echo everything you just said. I really liked it. I went in there with no expectations of it being good or bad. I just kind of went in. My wife and daughter really wanted to see it, so we went in and we saw it, and all the performances were really good. Daveed Diggs, I really liked his performance as Sebastian. He doesn't naturally have that accent, that Caribbean accent, but he pulled it off. Um, Aquafina as Scuttle, fantastic. She's ultra talented. She's in the MCU as well. Melissa McCarthy as Ursula, I think that was kind of a almost kind of a casting where it's like, who would you pick to be Ursula? I think she's one of the top people I think you would pick to be in that role. I don't think there's many others that could maybe pull it off the same way she did, but, the CGI, the special effects were really, really good. Um, Transferring from animation, from hand-drawn animation to live action is kinda tricky. It's not like a one-to-one, and I think it can be a little off-putting if you go from one to the other. For me, this didn't make a big difference, because 'cause I've heard people talk about that, but people complain about, the animals not playing instruments like they did in the animation, but it's like, this is live action. You wouldn't expect octopuses to be holding drumsticks. I mean, that would kinda maybe take you out of it a little bit, maybe?
Seahorses playing flutes, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it all made sense as much as it could. Javier Bardem playing the king, King Trident, um, he was awesome in it, and just kind of hearing his dialogue and him acting, and then having all of the, sea children he had. That was interesting. And yeah, Prince Eric,
Yeah.
that guy really pulled it off. He did a great job. I'd never heard of him before, never seen that actor before anywhere, and, to me, he felt like Prince Eric. I hadn't seen the animated movie in decades, but I did remember some of the songs, and I remember the gist of the film, and, I think they did a pretty good job. And of course, Halle Bailey, her voice is awesome, and her acting was really, really good. So overall, yeah, it was I posted about it on Facebook. I said this was very good. I mean, I didn't come out disappointed, and it was a fun summer movie.
Jessica LTO is in the chat. Thank you, Jess, for your comment. I love the Little Mermaid movie. I cried. Hallie's voice moved me. Absolutely. Also says, I wish they gave Ursula her mole, though. I didn't know she was supposed to have one. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you know what? When you mentioned CGI and all that, the only thing I will nitpick is like 100-foot Ursula.
Oh,
I
yeah.
couldn't figure out what she looked like. It just kind of looked either the lighting or just you
Yeah.
couldn't tell if there's texture there or anything. It just kind of looked like, ooh, this is not a good example. You remember the Fantastic Four, the bad one, the 2015 one?
Yeah, with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, you remember how Doom looked? That's what Ursula looked like.
Oh, okay.
She looked like bad Doom from Fantastic Four.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't tell, what they were going for. Whether she was supposed to look like, I don't know, like she was. I can't figure it out. It was so dark, and she was so dark against the dark background that I couldn't figure out what
Yeah,
she was supposed to look like.
it was very, like, kind of Pennywise monsterish at the end of the film. It's like it looked like a totally different
Oh yeah,
creature with a face and, like, yeah, I see what you're saying there.
yeah. So that honestly, that's the only thing. I'm like everything else worked for me. The changes to the story I thought were great. The new music
Yeah,
additions.
I really like the rap. I was like, "Wow, Awkwafina can rap." He's going quick, man.
Oh my god, Aquafina's she's so damn funny. She's just hilarious. I absolutely loved it. We want to hear from you guys. Let us know what your thoughts were about the Little Mermaid. We we had a blast. We enjoyed it,
Yeah,
and so excited. Another just fantastic movie this summer. Summer movie lineup is on fire. It is incredible. Um, Boy, that's gonna do it for us here for the Countdown City Geekcast. Thanks for watching, folks. I'm just it's so gnarly to have like 50 things going on in my head at once. Movies, conventions, events. We have like charity stuff coming up. We have like we're doing like private screenings with our friends and stuff like that. Like 50 things going on at every single second of the day. I don't know how I get any sleep. Um
yeah.
it's
Stories
an
on the
exciting
website. Go to the
time.
website.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, it's so damn exciting. Thanks everybody for joining us again. If you want to win these passes, your chances now. Once they're gone, they're gone. There's no redos. There's no nothing. There's no refunds. There's not gonna be more given away later. Your chance to win passes to Transformers: Rise of the Beast in San Antonio, Texas, is in the chat right now. It's pinned at the top of your screen there. So go check it out. And if you're just joining us, be ready. We're giving away passes next week to the Flash film. These are advanced screening tickets. We're giving away passes to San Antonio as well as Houston, Texas. I'm so excited. I'm so stoked. It's almost here.
wild, man, wild.
Oh, man. Freaking crazy. It's so awesome. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Before we go, I have one final thing to mention. We have been lucky enough to get our first ever sponsor for the Countdown City Geeks. So be on the lookout for more promos for them. We are all very excited about it. Their name is Real Retro. Real Retro is a retro and collectibles and action figures and everything store. It's pretty much like Toys R Us for adults is what I would say. Toys R Us for adults, especially if you're an 80 or 90s kids. So Real Retro is just absolutely fantastic. We appreciate them sponsoring us, and there's just going to be so much more that collaborations and everything else that we're going to be doing with them. So yeah, so excited, so amazing. David, we got to get you out there, man.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta go check it out. It's probably gonna have to add to all this stuff I have back here. But yeah, definitely if you wanna get outfitted for, get ready for stuff to get signed at the car show and Comic Con in San Antonio in July, you got about a month. So, it's coming up quick, guys. So yeah, visit, Real Retro in San Antonio, Texas, and, buy your pops, buy your action figures, posters, whatever. And, yeah, it's con season, it's movie season, 'tis the season.
Tis the season. Thanks a lot, everybody, for the Countdown to the Geeks. My name is Ted, aka Steady. Joining me on this very special stream is the one and only David Lozano.
Hey, guys. Thanks for listening. It is a golden era, like Ted said. Movies, conventions, everything's going on right now. So go watch Spider Verse.
Absolutely, guys. We will see you guys next week. Peace.